Alright, so my fifth language journal is going to be about the appropriateness of the way people use the word legit. So, the word legit could be used in formal settings or informal settings. When it's used more of like an informal setting, it's more like, once again, like people my age, like they use this word a lot. It can be used by girls like being like over dramatic, like it could be used by like someone describing like how awesome something is. So, an example of like a girl being dramatic about it would be like, "Oh my god, like I legit cannot stand her." Like that's a way where it could be used as informal and not taken as seriously. And a way to describe something that's like cool, awesome, like an example would be like, "Oh, those speakers Dan just got, like they're so legit." Like that's a way to describe something that would be like cool or awesome using the word legit. Another way in like a more like formal setting would be like to see if something's like real or not. So like an example of that would be like, "Oh, like is that car website like actually legit? Like is it real?" That's more of like how like adults use it, like more of like just like a regular word. It could also be used to describe how valid something is. Like if you want to like if you have an excuse for something, or like you need to like if you have to miss something, like sometimes you need like a legitimate excuse. So like an example of that would be, "Do you think my teacher would think that being sick is a legit excuse for me not to show up to my exam?" Like that's how you could use like legit in like another serious way. So, like in a social situation when you're with your friends, you could be like, "Oh, like this party, like it's so legit, like that's so awesome." But like if you were talking to like a teacher or like someone in like a higher profession and you had to explain like why you couldn't be at like a certain event, you would just ask and say like, "Oh, like is it like a legit excuse to like not be here because like I have this going on or I'm sick?" People also use the word legit to kind of like put the emphasis about how like something important, like how important something is. Like you're not just giving like, "Oh, like this is my excuse." Like you want to make it like it's a legitimate excuse, like it's important. So it could be used in many ways, like formal, informal, like the examples I gave before. So yeah, when you're with your friends, you could be like, "Oh, like, so legit." But like when you're talking to someone serious or like in a position of authority, you would use it more like, "Oh, like this is a legit excuse." Like you wouldn't use it like the way you use your tone of voice. Like you would use your tone of voice, like people would use their tone of voice in a more like serious way, whereas with their friends it would be different. So it was interesting making those observations, and yeah, this is about the word legit.